So here's a wild thought. What if an AI could actually read its own mind? Well, that's pretty much the revolutionary idea behind the new model we're diving into today, Claude 4.6 Sonnet from Anthropic. And it's a fascinating and, very necessary upgrade.
We've all been there, right? You ask an AI a question and it gives you an answer with all the confidence in the world, except it's completely wrong. We call these hallucinations, and honestly, they're one of the biggest headaches in AI right now. So, what if an AI could actually catch its own mistakes before it talked to you? Well, that is precisely the problem that Claude 4.6 Sonnet is built to solve. And hey, this isn't just some small update. We're talking about a pretty fundamental shift in how these AI models operate. Okay, let's get into it. So the first huge concept here is giving the AI the ability to just pause. Now, that might sound simple, but in that little pause, that's where all the magic happens. It's a moment for the model to stop, think, and double-check its own logic before it ever gives you an answer. And Anthropic themselves are calling this their new thinking era. So this isn't just about making things faster or feeding it more data. No, this is about creating a deeper, more careful kind of intelligence, something we can actually rely on. The tech making this possible is called adaptive thinking. The best way to think about it is, when you write a really important email, you read it over maybe a few times to catch any weird phrasing or typos. The AI is basically doing that with its own thoughts now, running these little internal monologues to test out different ideas. And this slide right here shows you exactly what's changed. You can see that brand new step right in the middle, the internal logic check. This is where the model is essentially showing its work to itself, to catch any mistakes before they ever get to you, the user. So what's the payoff in the real world? Well, if you're a developer trying to squash a bug or a data scientist looking at a totally chaotic spreadsheet, this is an absolute game changer. It means the AI is way more trustworthy for those tough, high-stakes jobs because it's constantly double-checking itself. But look, thinking smarter is only one part of the equation. Because if the information the AI is working with is junk to begin with, then all that thinking doesn't matter much. That's why the way it finds information is also getting a huge overhaul. It's going from just a passive scraper to an active researcher. This slide nails the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got the old method, just grabbing the top few search results, which, who knows, could be 5 years out of date. But on the right, you see the new way. Claude 4.6 Sonnet is literally writing its own code to sift through and verify the info it finds. So here's the play-by-play. It does a search, then it writes some code to filter everything by date, making sure the info is fresh. And then it prioritizes sites we trust, like GitHub or Stack Overflow. It's basically like having a super smart research assistant who checks the publication date and credibility of every single source. All right, all of this sounds amazing on paper, but does it actually work? Let's look at the numbers, because this is where the story gets really, really impressive. Just take a look at this chart. This is a test for how well an AI can use a computer all by itself. The last version, 3.5 Sonnet, scored just under 15%. The new one, it's skyrocketed to over 72%. That is a massive, massive leap. And what that 72% actually means is that this AI can now do things like organize your files for you, create a presentation from a spreadsheet, or even book a flight, all on its own. This is a huge step toward building AI agents that are actually useful. And this table here gives you the full picture, and it's not just a one-trick pony. Check out the coding benchmark. It jumped from 49% to almost 80%. Across the board, whether it's using a computer, doing math, or searching the web, Claude 4.6 Sonnet is just showing these huge gains. It's smarter, everywhere. But what's the point of all this brain power if the AI can't even remember what you were talking about 5 minutes ago? And that brings us to the next massive upgrade, the AI's memory, or what the pros call its context window. And let's just say it got a lot bigger. 1 million. That's the new magic number. 1 million tokens. Tokens are basically just pieces of text, like words. And that's how much information this AI can now hold in its short-term memory at any given time. Having a 1 million token memory, that's like giving the AI a photographic memory for a gigantic amount of text. It can read a massive book and remember every single detail from chapter 1 all the way to the end without getting confused. So what can you actually do with a memory that big? Well, you could give it your company's entire code base and ask it to find one tiny hidden bug. You could hand it a whole library of technical manuals to analyze. Or you could build an AI agent that remembers every single conversation you've ever had with it. So, when you start putting all these incredible pieces together, the smarter thinking, the better searching, that massive memory, what do you get? What does this actually make possible? It adds up to this. This is the recipe for the next generation of AI. You've got smarter reasoning, plus reliable information, plus a huge working memory. That's how you build an AI that can do more than just answer questions. It can actually complete complex projects and work alongside us. And you know the best part? This isn't some science experiment for 5 years from now. It's out there. Developers can start using it today. The pricing is clear, and it's available on all the major cloud platforms. The tools to build this stuff are here, right now. When you really boil it down, what we've seen today are the foundational pieces for a whole new era of AI. These aren't your small improvements. These are the literal building blocks for creating AI assistants that are truly autonomous, truly reliable, and can tackle work that felt like pure science fiction just a year ago. And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As these AI agents get better and better at using the exact same digital tools we use every day, what are the first complex tasks in your work or in your life that you'll feel comfortable handing over completely? It's something we're all going to be figuring out very, very soon.